Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oscar Buzz Trivia here, joined by Thomas. In our headlines for this week, we got the trailer for All of Us Strangers. Everybody is obsessed with Oppenheimer. It's breaking box office records. It's absolutely crushing. Netflix picked up Richard Linklater's new film Hitman for $20 million out of TIFF, the biggest acquisition of the festival. Quentin Tarantino, there's a rumor that his final film is going to be a cast reunion of the Pulp Fiction crew. Plus Joachim Trier, Oscar-nominated filmmaker for The Worst Person in the World, is going to be reuniting with Renate Reinsve for his new film Sentimental Values. We will be talking about all of that, so let's get into it. All right, let's get into the All of Us Strangers trailer. Thomas, what are your first takeaways, thoughts about this? This is one of our
I'll
most hyped of the
start by
year.
saying I was predisposed to liking this trailer since this
Yeah.
is possibly my most anticipated film towards the end of the year. I mean, there's a couple of options, but this is definitely up there. Like Hitman is someone we'll talk about later, obviously. So yeah, like Paul Mescal, Andrew Scott. I mean, they just look electric in this film. I think it really sells the idea that this film is going to be sort of punchy and lively and energetic,
Yeah.
whilst also being intimate and personal. Like it feels like it's going to use that balance quite well. And this trailer, I think, really does sell that idea that some moments will be a bit slower and some moments will have a bit more energy, and visually looks stunning. I mean, there's one particular shot that really stood out where it like panned up to a window and then sort of goes through the window, which I love. And I love the sort of Andrew Haigh is using sort of weirder things, I guess, or like visually interesting stuff. Because like this like feels like the type of thing that could have just been told quite generically, like just film shots in the flats. But no, Andrew Haigh seems to be doing something visually interesting with it. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the film. I think this winner.
Not to compare it to After Sun.
No.
But I mean, obviously, there's a Paul Mescal thing, and also this was like might be our favorite movie of the year, and that was our favorite movie of the year last year. But like, it does feel like it's doing a very similar thing where it's taking a pretty simple concept about just like memory, like connecting with somebody, and then searching through like your own past and memories after meeting somebody and all that type of stuff, and taking a really formally interesting and unique approach to it. And I just love when a film does that. I mean, the performances all look great. As you said, it looks visually quite interesting. I think that this is going to touch on a lot of really thematically resonant stuff that connects with us in particular. We love a good memory, connection type thing. Like, it really does feel like a film that's built towards both of our interests.
For sure. And I think this is a very effective trailer. Like trailers should deliver the concept of a film and deliver the tone and vibe of the film. Like that should be the only thing trailers are doing. Exactly. It doesn't need the narrative. It needs conflict. It needs a tone and the concept. And I think this delivers both perfectly. So what more can you really ask for?
Yeah, and I'm surprised I didn't really see people highlighting like the visuals and the colors that much. But like, if it's anything like the trailer, like my God, the lighting. Like, I don't know. I am incredibly hyped for this film. And like, if we're looking at it as far as awards, I feel good about screenplay. It's like
as of now. I mean, I could see it just not appearing. But equally, as of now, why not? Why not throw it in this?
I mean, this got like a 98 on Metacritic. Like, Paul Mescal, we'll see. I mean, I think that we're of the mind, like, maybe best actor of the generation. Like, has the potential to be like, one of the greatest actors of all time. And maybe this is just where we see him just completely turn into an Academy darling, where he's just getting nominated for everything like After Sun. Like, do I think that'll happen? I don't know, but would absolutely love for it to happen.
Yeah, and also like this could potentially slide into picture. I mean, it's definitely around. It's definitely in like the top 12. I think we've got, as you say, top 7, and then we're maybe looking at 5, 6 things that could slide into the last 3 slots. And I think this is definitely one of them. It's among the contenders for sure.
No, 100%. Yeah. Overall, just so incredibly excited. It looks stunning. I think I'm going to cry a lot. What more could you want? Really, really excited about that. Okay, let's get into some more Barbenheimer stuff because we haven't talked about it enough. Because everybody, including like some of the best filmmakers working right now, are talking about Barbenheimer. So Richard Linklater, we're going to talk about him in a second, said that he saw Barbie multiple times for the musical numbers, saying, "quote I really liked the movie a lot." Obviously,
great quote.
Yeah, I really like the movie a lot. Obviously reaching the industry. With Oppenheimer, Denis Villeneuve said that Oppenheimer reminds us film is an art form and not content. Paul Thomas Anderson calls the film making $900 million nature's way of healing. I mean, this is the way that his peers are talking about him. I saw this get brought up on Twitter. If that's how people are talking about it, this film just crossed 900 million. It's the highest grossing biopic of all time. I don't think it necessarily will happen, but it's, potentially could be the first biopic to cross 1 billion. I don't know if it has the legs necessarily to make that, but with all of that, plus it like probably winning, Best Picture, plus this is how like, his colleagues are speaking about his work. Do we see a world where Christopher Nolan loses?
Honestly, I think he's fairly solidly number one. I mean, just
Yeah.
if you've seen the film, it is anything like it's a directorial achievement. Like
Yeah.
exactly, it's just on screen. I mean, the cinematography, the sound, everything that Christopher Nolan has brought together, and the talent that he's brought together to make this film is just a genuine masterpiece.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I don't think. I mean, people have mentioned Lanthimos Moss is there. He doesn't have an overdue narrative like Nolan does. Like Nolan never been recognized really. This is his moment for me. And yeah, so I don't think there's a chance Nolan really loses at this stage. I think he's clearly the strongest, and especially Oppenheimer, it will forever be in the picture race. I think. I
Yeah.
don't think it will drop off being a picture contender. Maybe it won't end up winning, but I think it will always be there. So that will never hurt him. Plus the screenplay thing as well, that was written by Nolan as well. They might just send all their honors to director. Like there's just so many reasons why Nolan could and most likely will win.
Probably will win. Like even looking at like the past where we've had like these early frontrunners that fall, Power of the Dog, Roma, things like that. Whereas like, oh, maybe the film was too cold, and then they went for a more fun film. Could we see that with The Holdovers? Maybe. Now that supporting actresses open up with Lily Gladstone. What if Divine Joy Randolph wins? What if that wins screenplay? Oh my God, we have Coda. We have Green Book again. Screenplay supporting takes picture. It's the more fun film. What happened both of those years? Jane Campion and Alfonso Cuarón still won Best Director.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. They went for the more sort of directorial achievement thing. And it just makes sense for Nolan to win. I don't know how else to put it. I think this just always just reinforces it. Like the fact that it's done so well at the box office, the fact that the industry is behind it, the fact that it is still being talked about as this culturally significant thing. It is just all the more helpful.
I think that this is the most locked in above the line category.
Yeah, I'd agree. Both screenplay categories are sort of a bit up in the air.
With Lily Gladstone gone, all acting category,
are up in the air. Yeah, you might be right. This is probably the most locked in up of one.
He's just winning, and good on him. Like I haven't been, I have my love-hate relationship with Christopher Nolan films. I think that some are good, some are not so good. I think that Oppenheimer's is like first film that I've just like absolutely unequivocally adored and loved. But like, even as someone who's not like, the most massive fan of his body of work as a whole, you cannot deny the talent of this man and the impact that this man has had on the industry. Like, and I say that as somebody who thinks like The Dark Knight, it's fine. Like, I'm not the biggest Nolan fan, but like, yeah, he should have an Oscar, guys. Like, come on. And I think that this is a case, at least for me personally, where he's winning for the right move. Like this is.
Yeah, I definitely think it will go down in history as a very good Best Director win. Should it?
Yeah, yeah. It won't feel like it's just like, oh well, we should probably give it to him, so let's just throw it for the like. No, this is here in this one, and like I'm talking about in past tense because I just feel like it's happened. Like I like Poor Things could win picture. I don't see Yorgos taking director. I like Holdovers. Like Payne's not going to win. Who else? Gerwig's not going to win. Like I mean, I really don't see a world where he loses. And
no.
Fair enough.
Agreed.
Fair enough.
Agreed.
All right, let's talk about Linklater. So the biggest acquisition to come out of TIFF. There's a couple of big ones. Sing Sing getting picked up by A24, but it is Netflix picking up Hitman for $20 million. I don't know if this is great because we saw what happened the last time a Linklater movie went to Netflix. It was just kind of dumped and forgotten about.
Yeah.
Hopefully, since they spent big amounts of money on this, it'll be different. But I don't know. I think that this kind of kills it as far as awards, at least.
I mean, I never really thought awards were going to be happening for this movie. Anyway,
No,
I was always skeptical. Even like a screenplay thing, I was a little bit skeptical of. I think this just suggests that Netflix thinks it's a really good movie and thought they wanted to pick it up, which excites me about the movie even more. Like, if this is a film that's worth 20 million, exactly. If this is worth 20 million, great. And yeah, potentially it will just be dumped, but I assume it will be. What is that?
That's before trilogy. I was pointing.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
what?
We're just doing some dances, but yeah, it's a good film. I don't know. But yes, no, like I think this just fills me with more confidence. Potentially, Netflix will try and market it a bit more than they did Apollo 10.5, which was criminally what they did.
Underseen.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, go watch Apollo 10.5. It's great.
Yeah, still banging on about that. But yeah, like this year, I think Netflix feels right for it. I think Netflix might be a good place for it.
Yeah, again, I think it feels fine. People on Twitter were like, "Oh my god, he kills his Lord As you said, it was probably a lone screenplay at maximum.
Maximum, yeah.
Maybe if it can go comedy, it slides into like a couple Golden Globes categories. Like maybe we see Glenn Powell. That'd be kind of fun. See him get comedy actor.
Potentially. Yeah, I mean, comedy actor is it's a weak category.
It's a weak category. We're gonna have a video on the Globes coming in the next couple of days, and it's
it's not looking good for that category.
Yeah. But no. I think that this is fine overall. Still really excited about the film. Sad it won't be able to be seen in the theater because apparently it was like a really fun film to see like with a crowd. But that's what you get with Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the way the industry works these days. So
yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Tarantino. We haven't talked about it. We've rarely talked about him on this channel.
That's true. Actually, there hasn't been a film that he's released in the time that we've had this channel. So
yeah. But he has his upcoming project, The Movie Critic. There were reports that Paul Walter Hauser was offered the lead role. Now we have reports that maybe that isn't necessarily true. But apparently John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson they're being approached to appear lead potentially this film, which would obviously be a reunion of Pulp Fiction. Now, I'm just gonna throw this out there. I don't really like Pulp Fiction, but it would be fun to see these, this group come back together.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, definitely, I like Samuel L. Jackson. I was sort of going under the impression he was already cast in this film. To be honest, he'd been in most Tarantino films. Like, yeah, this makes sense. John Travolta will be interesting to see come back. I don't know the last film I've seen that he's been in that's been had to do with something like that. You'd have to check, but I haven't seen him for a while. I haven't seen him very active for a while, so it'll be interesting to see him in a role like this, especially if they are in fairly decently sized roles, which I think by the reports, if they're already like these are characters they're being talked about, does suggest that they will have fairly sizable roles.
And apparently, so apparently it's about Pauline Kael, the film critic.
Yeah,
so it will be a female lead, which you still don't know. I mean, it'd be kind of fun if it was Uma Thurman.
That would be fun. I mean, right, it might be. It could.
I wouldn't would have asked them. I wouldn't
be surprised. Yeah.
Like again, I have a lot of problems with Pulp Fiction as a film, but I cannot say that I wouldn't be pretty excited to see him bring it back to like his.
I mean, I don't think we need Bruce Willis back in the film, to be honest.
Just
gonna put that one out there. I don't think we need to go that far. But
like no, I think I don't know. I think this will be fun. I mean, listen, the film isn't even out. We don't even know if they're confirmed casting. But like, I think that you could see John Travolta get an Oscar nomination for this.
Yeah, I mean, I think this could be a picture player when it comes out. Like, there's a narrative there.
Obviously, like Tarantino final film. Like, it's very rare that like you can just have like the announcement of a film and be like, oh, that'll be big. But like, there's already so much built up around this film.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what if this is how Samuel Jackson gets his competitive Oscar? Like.
Yeah. All of these things. But yeah, I mean, it's quite far
It's way too early to speak about.
You don't really need to be thinking about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Regardless, I'm intrigued. I like stuff about old Hollywood. I'm not really the biggest fan of Quentin Tarantino's work as a whole. I can admire it, just not necessarily for me. But this intrigues me. The Pauline Kael story would be interesting. 70s Hollywood. It could be my vibe. I'm hoping it's my vibe.
Yeah,
a filmmaker who's definitely my vibe is Joachim Trier. Made The Worst Person in the World. A part of the Oslo trilogy. So also Reprise in Oslo August 31st. And he has a new film.
Yeah.
He's reuniting with Renate Reinsve, who I thought gave the best performance of the year in 2021. I thought that she was astonishingly good in Worst Person. I know you like Kristen Stewart. Kristen Stewart's my second favorite.
She'd be up there. She'd be like number 2 or 3.
Like they're like my top 2. I absolutely love both of them.
She was definitely up there.
But loved Renate Reinsve. Can't wait to see more of her. And we're getting it in a new Joachim Trier film. And it's gonna be called Sentimental Value. And I'm really excited about it. So the film's going to follow Nora, played by Reinsve, an actor, and her sister Agnes, who are grieving the loss of their mother, while their father Gustav reappears in their life after a long absence. Gustav, a once celebrated filmmaker, has written a script for a comeback movie and offered the main part to his daughter Nora, but she categorically refuses the role. During a career retrospective in France, Gustav meets an adoring Hollywood star and offers her the part intended for Nora. When the film starts shooting back in Norway, Gustav seizes the opportunity to repair his bond with Nora and her sister. This sounds incredible.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not too familiar with Trier outside of Worst Person in the World, but it was one of my favorite films of that year, so I'm very excited to see what he does. And yeah, this just seems like a story that is tailor-made for sort of people who are interested in film, who like film, but also want these sort of stories like this. Yeah, I mean, what is there more to say than this sounds, as you say, incredible. This sounds like it will be one of the best of the year. Yeah. I don't know when this will be released. That'll be interesting to get more details, but it shouldn't be too far in the future. Like, this could be next year, potentially.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like, I mean, anything with Renate Reinsve, I'm absolutely here for. And like, it seems like it'll be a very meaty role. It feels like we'll be playing on like, like jealousy and like revenge and like even like an identity thing with like her versus like the role versus her sister and the new actress cast and like I don't know. I think that this is going to be an incredibly complex script. Looks like there will be lots of moving pieces. Very curious to see who's cast as the Gustav role. I don't know. I'm just like overall really excited about this film. For some reason Gustav in my head is already Vincent Lindon, which probably won't happen. But like,
yeah,
please.
I don't know.
But like, yeah, no. Again, there isn't that much to speak about other than just saying like, please give it to me now because I'm really excited about it. And we'll see who picks it up. I'd imagine this would go to like probably Cannes or Venice.
Most likely, those kind of feel like the places for it. I mean, Cannes especially potentially.
Yeah, I mean that's where Worst Person in the World went. So. But yeah, no, really excited about this. But that is it for today. That is, a bit of a recap of the news this week. Obviously, there were some other bigger things. It's been a bit of a chaotic week in the world of, awards in film. Obviously, we had Lily Gladstone announcing their campaign in Lead. We had France submitting The Taste of Things and snubbing Anatomy of a Fall out of the international feature race. I mean, TIFF People's Choice was just last week.
Yeah,
like,
that's true. That is true.
We're American fiction one. Like, that's now a thing that we have to consider. Like, this has been a crazy week in the awards race, but we are going to be doing these weekly news videos that just cover the general stuff, not necessarily like the massive breaking news things that need to be talked about immediately. So look forward to this every Sunday. I think is probably the date that we'll be targeting for this. So make sure you stick around for that. In addition to Oscar predictions that are going to be updated soon with all this information that we've been getting this weekend from fall festivals.
Should be big shakeups.
A lot has changed. So make sure you're looking out for those over the next couple of days. Plus reviews. We got The Creator. We got Dumb Money. Plus we're both going to be at film festivals. Thomas is going to be at London. I'll be at Chicago. If you're going, say hi. We'll be there. But we will have plenty of reviews to talk about there. Grammys, lots of stuff. I'll put all the videos upcoming on the screen right now. But until then, you can support the SAG and WGA strikes in the links in the description, in addition to following us on social media if that is something that you're interested in. But thank you everybody for watching. Stay safe and goodbye.